Okay, so episode 5, a central hub for malicious data. So what is actually meant by this? Okay, so this is quite philosophical. I don't want to go too deep into this. And obviously, I am not the expert when it comes to the fields, but a lot of the activities that you do on your social media accounts is actually stored, centralized within the huge institution. So whether or not you make content on Instagram or TikTok, on YouTube or Facebook, literally any social media channel, whether or not you create content, even if you're a scroller or an audience, the little interactions you do with those social media applications is gathered and centralized and stored by them. And very often it is analyzed by them in order to, make the new features and to make the changes. And so, as I mentioned in the last episode, these social media programs are designed to make you really, really comfortable. And it's really just for the lazy people there. So put that out of your head, okay? So I'm not asking you to have this, negative thought about these social media institutions, but do realize that a lot of the data you guys do and a lot of the data you guys create by your specific activities are actually collected by them. So I'm not here to preach on the security and the do's and don'ts of how to protect your data and how to keep yourself off the radar. What I'm trying to say is the moment you start creating content and the moment you guys interact with the social media applications and features, bear in mind that your data is collected. So what are some of the ways we can, I wouldn't say get away, but get along or get around with this type of hypothesis, I guess, is to create content that doesn't show your personal life too much. So my mother, for example, I hope she doesn't hear, she creates content that revolves around her personal life a lot. And personally, I don't really agree with this. I don't think that a person should post or show his personal life, especially when it comes to family and the type of lifestyle you live, where you live, and a lot of these private information are meant to be private. So what I'm trying to explain here is the content you guys post should be confined, at least to a degree that you're very careful with the type of content you guys post.
Below 25%, time to get drippy.
Not post content that shows your personal life too much, that shows, I don't know, your brother or your family or your cats and dogs, your financials, your specific, bedroom. Like, don't show these things too much unless you're absolutely comfortable with it. So just to make it clear before you guys start on the personal branding and content creation journey, do realize or don't make the mistake to post too much of your personal life. I have made this mistake many times, and it became so bad to a point that people actually knew where I lived. And that was quite scary because there was actually one time where I went to a mosque on Friday. I went to the Friday prayer to a mosque, and some guy was actually waiting in front of the mosque, literally waiting for me, and I didn't know, or I don't know who the person was, but yeah, he knew where I lived and he knew I went to the Friday prayer, and those were some things that I should have not posted, but he was obviously one of the users who saw that type of content and he was waiting for me. So I was obviously a bit scared. I was a bit, skeptical. But it is something that you guys should avoid.